So yeah, because a few people had asked about um, well, using a real solar system and that, but really a lot of it was it was a lot easier to test that the orbital simulation was working. Uh, Basically with real, because you can put something in and then compare it with Wikipedia or whatever to see if the values are actually correct. Let's change the camera speed to 100 meters per second. So, what is the mean radius of Halley's Comet? 11 kilometers, I think. Okay, so you can see kind of we're way out here with Halley's Comet. If I just turn off the display names here, so you can see the sprites in the distance. Let's go check this out. So what I'm doing is I'm just holding down the shift button at the moment. We've just got a free camera that allows us to zoom around the solar system. So I'm just increasing my speed. Actually, I'm going to have to increase it quite a bit. But I'm just holding down shift and scrolling my mouse wheel. You can probably see in the top left my camera speed is increasing. I need to increase it a lot. I think this is that's probably Saturn. So let's go to Jupiter. You guys might not be able to see these little sprites, but actually I'm just going to turn on celestial names. I want to make sure I'm heading to Jupiter. Okay, that's Saturn. That's Jupiter. The camera is actually always draws at 0, 0. So now we're moving pretty fast, so you should be able to see the transition here as we get to Jupiter. So it's still drawing as a sprite, and we draw that as sort of instance meshes, so we can draw lots of sprites. You can see actually, well, you probably can't because it'll be a compression artifact, but there's a little flashing light of probably Neptune or something as well. So as we get close, I think it probably already has transitioned to a sphere. Yeah, so you might just see in the distance there it's transitioned to a sphere. And as we start to get closer, you can start to see the Jovian moons. I'm going to try slow down a little bit. And this is Jupiter. Oh, did I set the sim speed really high? No, I don't think I did. So you can see our Jovian moons here and Jupiter and stuff like that. Most of these probably we just have some test texture data in, so there's nothing particularly crazy. I think we've got the height map data really high on this, so that's just a little. Again, we're just sort of testing with data at the moment, so I might just slow down a little bit. But this is probably a good. We just kind of got it sort of crazy. But just because I wanted to show you that idea of seamlessness and stuff like that. That we can really just sort of boost around with no issues at all. Where's Jupiter? I've lost Jupiter. The stars were working, but they broke when we updated the latest brutal stuff. So it can make references finding a little bit difficult. There's Jupiter. It's behind the shadow. Yeah, so we're using just the real. In fact, I think we're at a point now where we want to. We're going to get some of the artists to start making just some sample stuff. Let's go to the moon. So this is what I was sort of doing in that video. But this is actually a good chance probably for me to show off how the billboarded mesh stuff works. So if I turn on wireframe mode, you can see basically, actually it's probably really hard to see, but you can see as I get closer, we're actually switching out mesh LODs. And in fact, the mesh data, we have so much mesh available to us that I'm just going to slow my speed right down here. That even at real real levels. We have stacks of mesh data available if we want to use it for essentially zero cost. So you can see at the moment I'm running at a frame rate of around 1,000. And that's still while drawing all these lines as well, actually. Probably worthwhile remembering. But yeah, so this sort of demonstrates off, that really unique approach to rendering and how it works. So you can see actually the height map data is kind of letting us down at this point. We've actually got more available than we really need. I was colliding with the planet there at the moment. The camera has a rudimentary collider on it. You see Earth through the terrain there. So I've got it on wireframe mode. But probably, so you can see as I pull back from here, it will start using a different LOD layer. And that is fully customizable. So that's fully moddable here as it moves out. Yeah, it's a little hard to see probably in it. But hopefully this shows, I'm going to turn off billboarding, and this will show a bit better how that billboarded loading system works. So I think, yeah, so you can see basically as we get closer to the planet, we're actually switching to a billboarded sphere that puts more and more detail actually closer to the surface where you would be. And that's kind of for free. So at the start of the game, it's a shame I can't really stream it because I was trying to stream my screen, but it was breaking. But I'll try and, after I've done a bit of a demo here, I'll actually go through and show the what is it? The XML. But yeah, basically we can define these billboard spheres in XML. So someone making RSS, for example, they'll need to go in and make much bigger meshes. These meshes that we're using probably max out at about 1.5 million polys, which sounds like quite a lot, and it is. But realistically, when we're drawing this kind of mesh, that's not too big a deal, really, because you're not normally that many close to a lot of these bodies. But yeah, with billboarding turns off, you can see how a better representation of how the game, how we're choosing, and again that's just in data, so modders can change that completely, how we're choosing to switch between different meshes. So as you get closer, there's less of a chance of us seeing over the horizon. So we're starting to put that mesh detail more and more. So you can see how those subdivisions work in there, I guess. I mean, we can do proper explanations of some of this stuff later on. What's going on here? I think that's a bug. Actually, that's clearly a bug. Probably in my data. See how I'm probably over subdividing something there. That's definitely indicative of a problem in my data. So I'm probably like overdoing it. I might just turn that back on. So you can see when billboarding's turned on, this was actually really complicated. To avoid you seeing too much swimming, we have to basically, and the idea is you shouldn't notice it. I've got wireframe turned on, but if I turn wireframe off, the idea is you won't really notice us moving between those things. I know it feels like I'm laboring this point, but it's actually really important. We felt it was the most important thing in terms of performance was the terrain, particularly when it comes to building bases and stuff like that. I really strongly believe we don't want popping in and out of terrain and a whole bunch of problems. We are actually playing with the triplanar shader at the moment, so it's pretty, yeah. I might just try, see if I can stream my screen. How crap is this? Just let me know in chat if it's not working. Can you actually read that?
Yeah, that's good.
Sweet. So this is actually where we define those meshes. They're basically a cube mesh. So we start with a cube. This sets the resolution of the cube, and again, this is all moddable. If I go in here and I find it, let's all just explore my thing. So if I go into KSA content, so you can see basically our data is just a mod. Now, don't judge this because this is still in development, but essentially this is just what's called a TOML file. And in fact, if I select TOML here, so you can see that this is going to be extended a bit so that people can do patches and stuff like that. But essentially, at the moment, this is like a manifest file that describes how the file is and stuff like that. So you can see at the moment I have two solar systems, and this is just a catch-all default assets. But you can see in this case, this is where we define these different planet mesh collections, and you can bind those to different planets. So you might need a different group of cube meshes that you use for certain size bodies. And I think that's very important if you want to be able to support mods like RSS, which is Real Solar System and stuff like that. But you can see it's pretty easy. This sets the distance at which that cube mesh is going to be used. This sets the resolution of each face of your cube mesh. This selects 24 vertices from that first point that's facing the camera that we billboard to, and then we perform a subdivide operation. We generally subdivide by 2, but we saw there was probably no reason for us to stop you being able to subdivide more if you wanted to, because you just don't know what's going to happen with different mods in it. You can see you can do multiple of these select and divide operations, but hopefully this makes sense. But a lot of our focus has been on, I would say, pretty boring stuff like this, because I think this is quite important here. The snap equals true. That says that in terms of pixel snapping, that the game will use this layer here when it's doing the pixel snapping, which is really really important. I was trying to remember if we do any further subdivisions. But what did I want to do? I wanted to show how easy it is to mod. Whoops. No, I don't want to do that. Oops, I just started randomly turning stuff off. So this is how you, at the moment, define a solar system. So what I wanted to do was see what the moon looked like if we make it smaller. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to reduce it to 10%. Actually, so I don't accidentally commit it, let's comment this out. I normally just do this, so I'm just going to do that. Because I have a tendency to accidentally commit stuff. So Copilot pretty much powers a lot of this. So now we've made the moon 10% of what it should be. Now this might be a little hard to see because of, there we go, follow Luna. We have to set the cam speed really low because it'll be much smaller. So you can see now, unfortunately, we're colliding with the surface. There's a special camera restrictor on, so we can't actually get close to the surface at the moment. I forgot when I did with Chris. So actually, what we can do is let's just turn that off. I remember where it was. I was in there just before. Uh, Here we go. I think I can just do that. Let's just do that. Just comment it out. Oh, okay. So another little cool thing in here, we can actually go in and you can actually run. Okay, it looks like that broke. Um, oh no, there we go. It works. So I can actually pre-set up. It's really helpful for modding and stuff. So instead of follow Halley's Comet, when we start the game, we could have it say follow Lunar. Whoops. And let's make it set the cam speed to 100 kilometers a second. And that can be false. Whoops. I forgot to push enter. And now when we restart, again, we just use a TOML file for that. Oh, crap. There's supposed to be a company update. I think people want to do the company update. I'll be like a couple of minutes. So, okay, so now I've turned off collision. We can actually fly down. So this gives you an idea. This is about the scale that the moon is in KSP. Obviously, the triplanar textures are a bit, need a little bit of work. But it gives you some idea of the scale. And if we turn on wireframe, you can see the mesh detail that we have. Obviously, we got a near clipping plane issue there, but that's all right. We can tidy that up. But that just gives you an idea, and that's on that. Now, if we actually go back in here, and at this one, let's do another subdivision. So this kind of work that I'm doing here will be really important for people running the mods like RSS, because basically they will need to go in and they will need to do a lot of this kind of stuff. I can't remember which lot I'm running here now. Yeah, so I should make sure I undo that so I don't actually commit it. I was changing the wrong one anyway. Is it in default assets? No. It's this one. I was changing the wrong one. So if we go in here and we just do another selection operation. Oops. We should see a lot more mesh data in there. And again, with no impact on frame rate, I think we're at about 2 milliseconds, which is about 500 frames a second. And yet we still have, there's a lot of mesh detail there, more than you could put in a height texture. Really, you can see that there's just a lot of detail there. Yeah, we were running at 1 millisecond, which is like 800 frames a second. So the Earth's over there. The Earth has a pretty crappy height map on it at the moment. We did actually have a really cool showcase that shows off our version of atmospheric scattering, but it broke when we updated the renderer. But BlackRack has started, so we should be able to show off something. I'm just going to zoom over here. Then I will actually have to stop the stream briefly because I'm supposed to be giving the company an update, and they probably deserve to know what's going on without having to watch the stream. So, actually, you can see there where we popped. We'll increase the distance, but you can see there we popped between using a billboarded sphere and using a traditional sphere. And again, this is using crappy data at the moment, but at least it gives you that idea of scale. We just need to go in and actually put in proper data, but it just gives you that idea that it's not all fake and whatever. But I'll be back in a moment, in a little bit. Yeah, so just hang out.
Dean's literally running across the office.
There we go. Can you say anything, Dylan? Okay, I may or may not have completely forgotten about um, that company meeting. We try and do a update meeting once a week. Where's Jamie as well? Jamie here? We could always invite Jamie in. Where's Dylan?
I'm back.
We could bring Jamie in.
Oh, yeah?
You should be able to add. I don't know. He might want to stream something. On my local copy, I've actually turned off. We had a problem with these orbit lines. I turned them on. If anybody has any questions, just at me as well. I was wanting to watch EJ's stream. I just wanted to try out this Discord thing. I just find I don't know how streamers like EJ do it. It's a lot, you know. It's like a invite to speak. There we go. What is something you're really excited for in this game? I think I really want to do this thing, right? And I've pitched this when we were talking about it before. So when I make my vehicles in KSP, I tend to build them in lots of different sort of blocks, and then I will reuse them for lots of different purposes. And I want to kind of have where the more you're using a whole bunch of parts in one like vehicle, I suppose, you get a small reliability bonus and stuff like that. So you're sort of benefited from using the same like launch systems. And it's something I'm very passionate about, and I do appreciate it's because that's how I play the game. Like I use Kerbal OS, and I really focus on a lot of that. So I think because I use Kerbalism naturally, I like a lot of that. So yeah. We actually recently went through, well, not recently, it was a while ago, and we made structs for all these kind of common parts. So, actually, one thing that's really important with how we do these orbits is these orbit solvers, which is kind of a sort of dots type, ECS type thing. So, basically, these are like little workers, and for performance reasons, we have those as little. Is little solvers. So if I do this, and you got, I don't know if you might not be able to see the console here, but what I'm typing is threads reset. So I'm resetting the threads. Now at the moment there's only 3 workers. And they're called orbit solvers, so it says celestial. So you can see here at the moment they're really not doing much work at all. That's less than a millisecond per worker, and those help us by caching changes to the orbits, and all sorts of stuff like that. Oh, I should probably read. So like leveling up the parts as you use them. Yeah, I mean, again, we've really not talked a lot about design type stuff. I think I don't want to speak for Jamie, but I think really a game like this lives or dies based on the architectural decisions it makes with how the game runs.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Been spot on, and that's what we've been focused on. The data and the architecture is the key here. Having worked on KSP1 for a long time and KSP2 for a long time, we were having to work with a lot of legacy debt and problems that were built into the architecture from day one. So here we have the opportunity to build everything from scratch at first principles, getting it all right from the start. And that results in a much better performance, a much better seamless sort of flow that you're seeing here. The workers, yeah, like Dean said, so you just cache changes that you want, and then the workers do all the work. So nothing really much is running on the main thread. The whole idea is to make it as multi-threaded, performant as possible.
One of my favorite things to do is, so I'm following the Lovejoy Comet, which is a sun grazer comet. Whoops, just randomly typing in there. And I added a whole bunch of real data because we just wanted to test stuff was working, and poor Jamie had to bang his head a million times as to how we deal with the orbits. But if people don't realize it, these sun grazer comets like Lovejoy, they get insanely close to the sun. So I'm at 100,000 sim speed at the moment. I'll start cutting it down as we get closer. So I'll halve it there because otherwise you don't get to see. But it just it's really freaky. Have you done this, Jamie? Have you followed like, I don't know, if anyone's interested in comets are just amazing. Like,
Yeah, when it skims the sun, but because at the moment it's just a placeholder sphere, and we've got to add a whole bunch of graphics to this, like having really cool tails, like we did back in the KSP1 DLC and stuff like that.
we just hand wave away and say BlackRack's going to do that, right?
BlackRack is going to deal with all of the rendering because he is a genius. Yes.
Summon the BlackRack.
That's it. Yep. Yeah, only started this week, but like I've already had a chat to him last night. So yeah, very excited to work with him again.
Well, I think the really cool thing is, imagine that you got the Unity devs and BlackRack and just mushed them together. So we can give BlackRack direct access to, if you ever see anybody in our chat here who's tagged with Enterprise Dev, they're the people who make all our back-end sort of systems and stuff like that. So he has access to anything you can do in Vulkan, which is anything. Admittedly, it is a bit brutal for to deal with, but I don't know. These sun grazer comets are just incredible. If people have not looked at, there's a whole bunch of good solar system simulator stuff. I think Universe Simulator or something. I actually know I think a couple of the devs actually worked on KSP maybe. It's pretty cool, but you guys aren't going to realize quite how close you get here. I'm going to slow it down.
Yeah, we added all these things in from the real world so that we could get it all right. Like I've spent quite some time making sure that actually parabolic and hyperbolic orbits are actually working correcttly here in KSA, whereas in KSP they didn't exist.
You can
they were actually
fudge
fake.
them.
They were fake.
Yeah.
They were fake. Yeah.
That's very important for doing interplanetary stuff. Sorry, interstellar. But it gets, I don't know, it's crazy. It just gets crazy close. I'm already feeling a bit weird. Obviously, this doesn't look super pretty at the moment. We're going to make it look way better. But it just conceptualize in your head how close this comet gets to the sun there. Oh my god, that just freaks me out. That just totally freaks me out.
And I would get hung up on that sun texture because that's a placeholder.
Yep. Yeah, it just threw stuff together. Again, that's actually probably a good indication of what the project is. We're really trying to focus on the fundamentals rather than the pretty stuff, or even a lot of the design. Which I personally think that I really liked a lot of KSP. And one of my biggest annoyances is the inability to just jump between stuff. I'm actually just going to change the sim speed to 0. Where's Almoamoa? Let's go there. And M speed will have to be really low. I think Almoamoa might be so small that we might have camera clipping issues. Because at the moment,
500 meters across or something. Yeah.
I can check Almoamoa. 100 meters mean radius. So yeah, I think at the moment we do have some camera clipping plane issues because technically we'll actually have multiple cameras, so you can see we're getting a clipping plane issue, but that's pretty easily solved. At the moment we just have the one. So has this already? This might have already been moved. do this. This is going to get a little intense, and then cam speed to AU. There we go. Yeah, I think the big things that we wanted to attack was being able to render a lot of stuff, render orbit lines. Jamie's been working on this. Is it in how do I do it? Maneuver node. Oh, I have to do it on a
You can.
ISS.
You'd have to do it on a comet. So there's the fake moon space station MSS
Got it.
that you can go and have a look at, and then you'll be able to actually change its add a maneuver to it.
Zoom out a bit.
So while you do that, you talked a bit about rendering a lot of orbit lines. Have you thought about like how many parts and things you want to be able to render?
Thousands and thousands and thousands. That's the idea of that. What do we call it? Like constellation, sort of almost, where a part can be made up of a lot of other parts. It helps us with authoring. Okay, what am I doing here? But it also helps us with this. It also helps us with, what was I going to say? Rendering, because we can render them in batches.
Yeah, I can talk. We did some design on that. When was that? A couple of weeks ago when I was in Auckland. Yeah.
We could try adding the Scott Manley asteroid right now, and I could show people how easy it is to mod stuff in. Does anyone have the orbital data for me? Tell me the orbital data, and I'll add it. Just make sure I undo that before I commit that. What do we change here? We changed that
I think
radius.
EJ's looking it up. Is he?
Uh,
EJ's madly searching.
let's just collapse that so that we're. We'll call it a planet for the moment. Oh, actually, just a body. What's it called? Someone posted it. Got Manly asteroid. Whoops. Oh, let's see what Copilot says. I think you're wrong, Copilot. What if I help it out a little bit, and I'll add the 33434. That might just help Copilot a little bit. Let's see if it figures it out. Nah, damn, it is not working.
Try implementing
Okay.
Copilot to give you the orbital parameters of Comet 33434.
Is it a comet? It's an asteroid, right?
Oh, it's an asteroid.
Yeah, it probably won't help it. Okay, I'm getting a lot of vector data here. Okay, the semi-major axis in either kilometers or something. We tried to make it easy, so you can input the semi-major axis in kilometers or AU or whatever you want.
Yeah, you just put the unit and then what
2
distance,
point.
whatever the measurement is.
So you go AU 2.9321.432. I'm literally trusting just whatever anybody puts in. Okay, I'm going to check the link here. Risky click, everybody. Why did I open up Bing? Okay, I don't want everybody to think that I just use Bing, all right? Okay, so what are we going to do next? We can do it in any order we want. I'm just going to move this over to the side here. Inclination is 1.30163. Just double check my stuff that I'm doing here as I go through. Next, let's do longitude of ascending node, which I think is, from what I can see, is 333 2.87360. I mean, you can do these in any order, but I try and be consistent in the data. The eccentricity is, yeah, but what I wanted to do was just show the data-driven approach, which I think is critical to everything from parts to wait, I think I got that wrong. No, I got that right. 142.13492. I've got two screens now. I got the eccentricity right, didn't I? Yeah. I actually got to meet Scott Manley at a GDC a while ago. A long time ago now, probably. Where are we? Mean anomaly, epoch. So basically that's it when we start the simulation. Which I think we used J2000. Actually, what I was going to do is also, at the moment, the planet data that you see hasn't been integrated to the system. It's not as clean. What's that called? Textures? What was the name of that XML file, Jamie? Remember the other one?
Planets.
Oh, planets. Yeah, so this is Minolaki. So what I was actually going to do was move this into, it's just because it was moved. We'll often develop something in a separate thing. I wonder if Chris is here. If he's got, I'd love it if we could see that atmospheric scattering working. He was going to get that working. Anyway, I'm not going to get distracted. I presume this is probably not that accurate. Do they have a value? Does anybody have an idea what its mean radius is? Probably. Presumably they've assessed a little bit. Oh, someone's pinging me. Chris slacked me saying that atmosphere doesn't work yet. We broke it when we updated, but that's what Black Rat's looking at. Okay, so the mean radius will be 2.3 kilometers, right? Yeah. So you can see with this data-driven approach, for some stuff, you can just enter AU in here. You could enter radians in there instead. We just wanted to make it as easy and approachable as possible. I know a lot of people don't like XML, but personally, I find if you're going to be reading it, I actually find XML really, really good. And then I presume it's color. This is the color it'll just use by default with the sprite. Let's just make it white.
Yeah, I made some changes to that this week. That's the color the lines will be for the orbit, as well as the border box when it's zoomed out and stuff like that.
This happens sometimes due to concurrent. I haven't fixed the concurrent loading. So we, as an example of concurrency, we load all the files at the same time. But if for some reason, sometimes it can break. Damn it. It's breaking more and more. I need to fix that. It's because the computer's running a bit slow. Okay. Yeah, good point. So that's why it's breaking. I should read parent equals sol. It should be able to handle that. By default, if something is a body and it doesn't have a parent, actually let's solve that. Don't you think by default that body should be considered to be its parent should be sol if you enter something null?
Yeah,
right?
you could just chuck that in now. Yeah.
No, I see why not. Because the star is in there. Oh, what should we do in that case? I think I should probably display a nice error, a graceful error. So I kind of want to. Where was that? Let's fix that while we're here. Line 23, celestial body. Line 23. Okay, I mean I put this in. It's Rocket. Rocket did this. I'm throwing an exception, which means it can't continue. Maybe during loading, I should trap the let's go to universe. Line 69. If we have a problem, we could go try that. Yeah, let's do that. Just because it should still carry on, it should just log an exception. That was past Rocket being an idiot. Okay, so now it's not loaded that celestial body. So if we go celestials, okay, it did load it. It did load it. It just hasn't added it. If I do this, it'll probably get very mad, or it'll be in the center of the sun. One of two things. Manly asteroid. It might get very mad. Okay, we are following it. We're in the center of the solar system. Okay, anyway, I just didn't want to leave that sitting around there. So let's do parent. I'm not checking out chat. I totally forgot. Was there anything I should have answered? So this is the Scott Manley asteroid, and cam speed 100 meters a second. So actually, let's do cam speed 1 UU second, so we can get out a bit, so we can see where it is, and let's have a look at its orbit. If I turn that on here, and let's use Earth. Actually, I should probably add one other thing that would be cool would be to add the ecliptic plane. I guess it looks like it's in here, so let's just turn on. No, actually not those guys. Let's turn on these so that we get. I tried to order them in their distance. Actually, I could order that array itself. What are you doing? What are you doing? Palace? You've had a little dalliance with something sometime, haven't you? What have you been doing? That's cool. But yeah, that just shows how easy it is to add something. Ignore the fact that it says planet. That's more to do with our classes and stuff like that. I'm sure we had a grid at one point. Dylan, didn't we? Might have been pre-Jamie though. Let's go have a look at Jupiter. What are you doing, Jupiter? You're just hanging out there. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, just at me. Otherwise, I'm going to start trying to integrate these textures.
I think they stopped adding you because it sets off Discord pings and everyone gets triggered.
Oh, really? Everyone sees it.
Everyone hears them.
Got it. That's annoying.
Try chuck yourself on streamer mode or do not disturb. Might take care of them.
Oh wait, you guys can hear it on my machine. I'm literally the worst. I don't hear the notifications. Do I just have Discord booped? Hold on. Where is streamer mode? Does anybody know?
Everyone's
Oh,
pinging
streamer
you.
mode. Here we go. Okay, I've enabled streamer mode. Tell me if that works.
Nailed it.
The game won't be at full RSS scale. I'm gonna leave that in. I'm gonna leave that in, Jamie. The Scott Manley asteroid. May as well. It's good to have more data in because basically it helps us test. Oh yeah, I think I added the Voyagers in. Let's do that. Let's turn those on. I think this data is right. Copilot did it, so it probably is. Maybe it's not. Let's try it out. We can have negative argument of periapsis, right? Yeah, no. It should be that. Let's try and see if it breaks. Just that data is very old. What was its name? Voyager 1. Cam speed. It will be a sphere. Let's go like this. Okay, so I think epoch-wise, I probably set it at like the 70s or something. I don't know what's going on here. Or I just might have bad data. Maybe. Yeah, no, it's probably that looks like it might be right. Is anybody smarter than me? Does that look like Voyager's? Okay, I've probably got too many lines, Dean. Let's turn that off and let's turn on Jupiter and Voyager 1 and 2. I don't know which way is up, but if someone could tell me, because I need to add epoch time. But if anybody can tell me whether those look roughly correct. If I go to the Wikipedia page,
Yeah, I've got to add back in the up arrow.
no, I removed them on my
Um,
local one. We can just it's
But an easy way to know is that they're all orbiting anti-clockwise if you're looking at it from above.
Did we fix hyperbolic or parabolic being
yeah.
on the other side? Oh, is it fixed now? So Oumuamua will actually fly around properly? Because remember that was broken.
Should be, but yeah, I have to check.
I want to say that's correct. Ignoring their positions, I think so those are both hyperbolic trajectories. I think that's correct. Someone who's really smart in chat will say something. Am I up at the moment?
Are the planets going anti-clockwise?
Oh yeah, good call. I turned off the things. Let's turn that on. Let's do some speed.
Sim's probably going too slow. Yeah. Because, it runs at normal speed. So, but you can speed it up.
If I follow Sol, no, I'll unfollow. Okay, so they are going clockwise, so I'm the wrong way up. This is the correct way up. Oh, well, Voyager's now moving. And I didn't give it any extra data. But yeah, if anybody can tell me if this looks roughly right. I think I am the right way up here. Voyager 2, I think my data's wrong. I don't think this is correct at all. Wait, I can use that website that someone linked before, right? I closed it. Sorry, I'm just looking up to see because I think I think I added that ages ago, and I don't think we changed the data structure a lot, which is actually one of the reasons why we don't want to we don't want to release the game before we've really firmed up the data because it's just a nightmare for modders.
I haven't actually played with the Voyagers, so I don't know how accurate they are.
Okay, so where are we actually using this planet stuff? Can you remember where we're loading that? In program, I think, right?
Yeah, it's all loaded in program.
Actually, I might just check and do a commit, and people can see that it works. Jamie, you're okay if I turn off those orbit things, right? the velocity indicators, just because they get annoying.
Yeah. We probably should add that to the settings menu. Actually,
Yeah, true. Could do that.
I don't know.
What did I fix here?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the sampler.
Or we just probably put a compiler
not gonna
directive in
commit
for
that.
that. It's a debug thing anyway. So
True. Could probably just wrap that in that. So what did I do? Added the Scott manually asteroid due
cool.
to popular demand.
It works. So cool. Sorry, I'm getting excited because I just got my sphere of influence renderer to work. So now you can see the sphere of influence of the planets. Nice.
Oh, there's some maps there. At the moment, we're not allowing. Well, we haven't got in loading custom meshes for the smaller stuff. Oh, wait, it's a height map though. Interesting. The mod version of his head. I'm gonna just, if I just click this, I could try loading that in. That would be pretty funny. The Sky Live. Let's check this out. Oh, so we're using the J2000 epoch, so that's actually pretty good, but it's not quite the format I'd need to transfer it. A lot of people are a lot smarter about a lot of this stuff than I am. I think this is from a Earth frame of reference. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on chat as well. In some ways, I find this a bit more chill than a Twitch stream. I don't know how EJ does it. It's a lot, man. It's. I don't think people realize it's a lot. Disabled orbit velocity indicators is they are broken because I did them, and I did not do well at math. These I should probably. And what else did I change? Oh, do I need to commit that? I won't commit that. I was just fiddling around with that optimization for the selecting the orbit, a position on the nearest orbit line, Jamie. Have you been having a performance problem with that?
No, not really.
I'm
But there's
gonna.
plenty of room for improvement on it, that's for sure. It's a bit janky when the lines are close together, so we've got to probably do some more work on it for sure.
Yeah. Also, I'm not getting between the points. So if you're really close, what I can actually do is when we've got, well, at the moment I'm returning 1 point, but when we've got 2 points, I can step along there and get the nearest point on that line. Dylan, if you see anything in chat that's important, let me know.
But
I'm trying to just scroll through a bit. Here we go. Oh, this is so cool. NASA's Eyes on the Solar System thing. I forgot about that. That's awesome. See, this is why I want a craft to look like this. Like, well, obviously, even better, but I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking about how I can make my KSP craft. It's just I get really frustrated with how I'm trying to move the camera like our free camera. I get really frustrated with the loading times. That's the one of the single most important thing to me is I should just be able to jump to a vessel with no time jump at all, because I like to do lots of small vessels and then join them together and dock them and stuff like that. That's just extremely important to me. Okay, so I committed those things, but I got a couple of local ones. Oh, I forgot to commit that.
I think I was going to mention earlier, I can talk about the part thing. Because, I mean, I know EJ's listening is going to make him very excited. So the design that we've come up with so far, in order to also support, like, because we can basically batch render everything directly to the CPU. So the idea of the design for the parts is we're going to
I
build
can
the
do something real
pipeline.
cool.
Yeah, we're going to build the pipeline in game, so you'll be able to basically create parts the way we're going to create parts. And so there'll be like little sub parts. So you're going to have like the internal fuel tanks, a fuselage, the end caps, stuff like that. And we're going to break down each of, like, traditionally parts you might have played in another space game where they were just like pre-canned parts, and there was like 15 of them because they were all different sizes and crap like that. So no, none of that. So you'll just take a fuselage, probably be able to change the length of it, the width of it, and then throw inside, here's my Methalox tanks, here's my end caps for it, and then that's my part. And then that part will be exported with the game, right? So for players who don't really care about that kind of stuff, there'll be all these pre-canned parts. But the good thing about this is each component, if there's more than one of them, like say I've got 15 of those on my ship, or 100 of them, 1,000 of them, we just batch render the whole thing. So it's one GPU core, draw all of these, and that'll be done, kind of thing. So, but the advantage will be that the whole pipeline we will build, say, in an editor like the VAB or something like that, and so the players will be able to build their own. Modders will be able to build their own parts out of these subparts, if you like, and create mod parts. So I could create a fuselage, chuck science experiments in it, whatever. Yeah, that's the idea, and then that'll be just part of the game. So the way that we create the parts that come pre-canned with the game will also be the way modders will be able to create parts as well.
So, like imagine, that allows us to make parts that are very much like what you're used to in KSP and stuff like that. But someone like EJ might be able to say, you know what, I don't want this standard where all my fuel connectors are central, like in terms of resource connectors. You might go in and make your own part where the connectors are here. So you have, your standard might be, okay, my O2 connector is on the side, and my H2O connector is on this side, and then I run a fuel connector, through the middle or something like that. And you could do that yourself, which is independent. What?
I think your whiteboard camera has a mic as well.
Oh, got it. How do I turn everything off? Why is everything so difficult?
Wait, what? Who's double voicing?
Apparently me.
You or me or all of us?
Can you hear me like this if I do this?
Rocket is. Oh. Have you got EJ's stream in the background? You have to mute it because otherwise you'll get the feedback.
No, I don't have. I think it's. Can you hear me when I'm talking now?
I can't hear you, EJ. I've muted you.
Could you guys hear me when I was talking just before then?
Okay. Well, I think when I talk like this, I'm not sure Jamie can hear me.
Okay, yeah, I'll just walk over there. Anyway, that was just kind of explaining how the thing works. I'm just going to right click on this thing and see if I can click mute on it. Is there a way that I can mute that? Why does Discord have to make that so confusing? But yeah, hopefully that part approach makes sense.
Is
At
it?
least I know that screen thing works. I wanted to do that change that I was talking about.
You got to show off the camera though. That's great.
Yeah, it really helps us because now we're doing a lot more remote stuff. We have Jamie and stuff like that. KSA for us is a lot more remote than we've traditionally done. So, what is going on?
Is the feedback? Have you got EJ's stream? Have you muted his stream?
I don't
Twitch?
have his stream open.
Okay. I've got it open, but it's muted. What level of customization can we expect for engines? Someone's asked. Well, I just
Jamie.
described how the part pipeline is going to work, so you can do whatever you want. Like, that's the idea. There'll probably be, I mean, Dean can stop me now, but there'll probably be a set of pre-canned parts that come with the game for general players, and they'll have engines in it. But modders will go to town with this setup because they'll be able to create whatever engines they want, basically.
Me no like this. Me no like this at all. So.
Whatever exotic engine you want to create. Sky's the limit. Whatever you want, you can do. Everyone will be able to do it because you can just create them in game. Like, you'll just be able to put the parts together. I'm pretty sure once we have resources and fuels and stuff, you'll just be able to add all those in because it'll all just be config files. Pretty much what you're used to with other space games, I guess.
See, we already have a height reference. I already put that in. I think I should just be able to. Basically, I told Chris that I would do this. So we are passing that into planet render. Nearby planet render data as a class, which I don't like. Let's also pass in the celestial. In fact, let's just make that not new. Sorry, I'm just doing coding now, so that's boring. Someone just tell me if I miss a good question.
They're asking questions about engine stuff, so yeah. Coding is not boring to us.
So basically, this is where I told the guys to. Interesting. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more funky than I expected. If I go into bind, no. So this is getting the texture set. What is texture set? Oops.
So I know that some people listening to the stage thing are getting Robot Dean. I'm not. I don't think everyone is. I don't know whether I'm a robot.
You don't sound like it to me, neither does Dean. I don't know if I do, but hey, maybe it's because they're all on the other side of the world from us.
No, I sounded crystal clear in EJ's stream, so it's just Dean. I don't know.
They need to reboot.
So nice just being able to click through into the brutal stuff and saying, oh, this is what this is doing. Although, man, do they write, does our team write some big comments? Look at this.
Well, they're good, though, but it's good. It gives you lots of information.
Yeah, but I'm not reading it. I'm not reading all that.
Well, that's you. That's you.
If nearby celestial is null, we don't want to do anything.
Hey Dean, can I just get you to try rejoin the stage, just because it just seems to be your voice that's like super Dalek sounding.
Okay.
But we're not, right? If we're talking, people can hear us just fine.
Yeah, no, I think we're fine.
Check, check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Probably EJ's fault.
Pounce. Planet. On.
Will there be DRM? No. I think I can answer that for Dean. No DRM. No.
This is going to be a lot more challenging than I thought. But we still need to unpack it. And this is an example of basically we had something working in this prototype and we need to make it work. So here, this texture set comes from where?
Builds will come soon, like I think Dean's already said. So like we just want to get some of the basics working properly first, and then there'll be some builds. Can't say when. Few months maybe. Dean, what do you reckon? I think maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I really want to get the data structure. That's one of the reasons why I want to show this off. Okay, this guy here is the problem. I don't like this. I don't like doing dictionaries like this. We made a lookup, right? Lookup collection.
There's a lookup collection, yeah. There will be builds that will be available to the public that you'll get for free initially, because we want feedback from all of the community and modders particularly. So yes, initially it'll be free, and yes, people are a bit shocked. Yes, and then I think Dean's got ideas on how he will eventually release it, and you can support the team, the project, and yeah.
And I guess I don't want people to get confused. It's not going to be a free to play game. We just want to get something out to show that we have a thing. It's not just It's not just all talk.
Sorry, yeah. It won't be free to play. Eventually, it'll be pay to play. But yeah. Someone asked, "What's the modding languages?" So, like all the config stuff at the moment is XML. It'll probably remain XML, I guess, or maybe not. We've got TOML files for the actual loading. And it's all written in .NET C#. So Brutal itself is C++, but the team have written a C# wrapper around all the Brutal framework, so it's all C#, .NET. The latest C#. So models will be able to write their own C#. They'll be able to inject code too if they want, right? Because we don't care about that as well. So they can inject code and write their own config files. Someone's asking when we will have some artwork for them to see.
It's a good question. Yeah. I don't know is the honest answer there. I want to probably once we need to actually start doing the solar system, like a custom solar system. That's probably one of the first things we'll do. This is going to be a pretty spicy change. Just FYI. I think I need to do a constructor for this. We like spicy. We like spicy changes, right?
Oh yeah, better get it peer reviewed. Hang on. Is in-body physics a possibility? Yes, it's a possibility. Yes,
I would say. I would say it's in the FAQ if people want to check it out. I'm not smart enough to do it.
But the point is that a modder can do it because they can just replace the Kepler.
Well, hopefully, that's one of the things we need to test.
Yeah.
So, what the hell is this? This is not even doing anything.
You've got 190 people in the audience on the stage, and then there's another 450 on EJ's stream. So I think we can probably call it a peer review.
Okay, let's check.
Well, it's not a peer review if I'm ignoring what people are saying.
Yeah.
I haven't actually been looking at what he's actually doing. You can't have commented. No. Will there be a game mod browser installer? Oh, geez, I don't know. Someone wants to create one?
I mean, I love using CCAN personally.
Yeah.
I
know the CCAN original dev because he was in Melbourne. Well, I used to live in Melbourne, so I met him actually.
CCAN is so good.
Actually met him one time down in Melbourne. Forget his name. That's a long time ago now. Crikey, it's probably 10 years ago. No, it wasn't Habaru's son. Yeah, Melbourne, Australia is where the original dev lives for CCAN.
Nice.
Forget his name. Oh, so long ago. He's not involved anymore, I don't think. Not for a long time.
Sorry, I am. Hopefully doing this properly. You were about to say something?
I was going to say, someone asked in chat, can the sun be a child? I don't know whether you've answered it anywhere, but
Theoretically, yes.
In theory?
But at the moment, the simulation's based off the idea that there is one
star, yeah.
Yeah.
But you probably could add more, but we haven't even looked at. No, the Kepler simulation doesn't handle it right now. I mean, we could add it in.
Should I pass the ID through? I feel like I should just pass the Celestial. Planet Render State should really be the Celestial itself because that's what we want. What I might do is I might just map the ID to the Celestial itself because that's what we want.
Paul Fenwick, someone just mentioned the guy's name. That's the CCAN. Yes, you're right. Whoever said that, that is his name. That's his real name, real world name. Correct. Sobering reality check. Got it right. That's the guy's name. Jeez, I'd forgotten.
Sorry if this is boring, folks, as well. It's just, this is something, now that we're getting this in, I really, again, the data structure is just so important. It's not going to like that, is it? But if I did that, it will. People aren't complaining, right? We're definitely going to have propellers. What? What is planet in this context? Oh, shit.
Keyboard layout reveal. Oh, jeez. Right now, it's just WASD.
But you can change it in settings. Didn't I add that? Did I add mapping for that?
The mapping, can't remember. Is it there? I don't know. It's pretty basic at the moment.
What I might do is I'll do celestial equals. I'll just cheat. It's off the system, right? If I do universe dot current system get celestial, is that it? I think is it get? Yeah, get. Planet dot name. That's just a little hack. This is a hack.
VII max. Oh. Why would you want to know that? My coding layout. What do you mean?
Why are we even setting this data like this? Can't I just set this on? I can just set this on. This is a good example. So I should be able to, instead of doing this, I should just be able to do that and just get rid of this completely.
This is all the rendering stuff. I don't know. To talk to Chris.
In fact, why don't I just do this? Whoops.
The home world needs to be... No, well, there's no such thing as a home world in this game. Yet. If ever.
Honestly, I don't see why I can't just do this and then do that, and then it should all just work. And are we even using this? Where are we using this? Yes, we're using that to get the mesh collection, but I can slowly move stuff through. I just figured it's good for us to show people this because then, you know, people will get an idea of, okay, it worked. That's like loading now, and that's a lot less junk and jank. But I still haven't transferred it through, but I've managed to move a bunch of stuff out. Yeah, sorry if this is a bit boring, folks, but that's why I didn't want to stream it. Just shows you just our integration does get pretty complicated. So I'm actually just gonna bite the bullet on it.
Yes, this is C#. Someone asked, is this C#? Yes, it is.
Okay, so what we're doing here is we're loading through the planet loaders. When does this get called? When does this get called? I presume.
Don't know.
I presume this is after we've loaded the planets?
I think it's after those other files are loaded because... Oh, no. Yes, because
yeah, no, it is.
if the planets are not there, it freaks out. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. I just need to. Yes, it is definitely. We can 100% confirm at this point it has loaded the planets. So instead of going through, I can't do this in stages. I have to do it all at once. I'm just going to remove all this commented stuff out. Instead of this, I need to actually go through. I'm just going to tell Copilot for each current system planet. Come on, Copilot, do my job for me. I'm way too lazy and it's Friday. No, you're wrong, Copilot. Oh, I'm going to have to do it by hand. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Oh, actually, I can just do this. Let's be fancy. So modders will be able to do this. This is all showing off stuff that modders will be able to do. Let's make a new function. Let's look for an example of this.
Yes, someone's mentioned someone's mentioned Stationeers. So I'd heard of Stationeers before I joined the team, but hadn't really played it. But now that I have, yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really cool. So much detail. So for all the space program type game fans here, you love it because it's so detailed. All right, people keep talking about Krakens. Okay, so why do Krakens exist in other space games? Because they had problems they were never able to solve due to the architecture. I don't expect we're going to have Kraken issues because we are not going to have floating point issues. Yeah, so those games that were written in Unity, they all use floats, single precision. Everything was a long way from the camera, whereas here, everything is not as it seems. So yeah, and we'll be able to run different physics scenes and that are local to whatever is going on, even though they may be a million miles away from the camera, which means, yeah, no floating point issues. So therefore, hopefully, no Krakens. People don't believe me. Yeah, well, look, I feel pretty confident, given that I was a dev on another space game, 2 space games that used the Unity engine, and all the problems that brings to the table, and why Krakens existed there, that hopefully, yeah, I don't think we will have any. What engine are we using for this? We're not. Dean can explain it the best.
It's framework. It's what we're using.
Yeah, so it's a framework. It's .NET, C#, latest version, and we've got our enterprise team who've built this framework called Brutal. It basically exposes the entire Vulkan API for rendering via C#, and it also exposes, what else have we got? ImGUI for GUI stuff. What's the multiplayer stuff as well? You got your own multiplayer system as well in there. What have I forgotten? Dylan or Dean? There's other stuff?
I think that's about it. Sorry, I am.
Yeah. So it's just that you're busy. And I'm also on the side doing some programming as well. But I'm currently debugging my maneuvers.
Well, Jamie, EJ was asking whether we would support same vessel collisions.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
damn, I kind of want to use the whiteboard for this. We don't think that was the source of the robot, Mr. Roboto, right?
No, Mr. Roboto. No. The problem.
I don't think so. But we know what the fix is this time.
The fundamental problem there is the Unity engine using the PhysX engine, and the way that objects, everything. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the problem with using a game engine. Game engines give you a lot of pre-canned stuff out of the box that's really easy to use. Anyone can learn to use it, create a game really quickly, but it comes at a really big cost. So when you create an object in the world, you get all this overhead that comes with it. Part of that is how the object hierarchies work in Unity, for example, and half the problem that with robotics was just how janky PhysX is under Unity, and it's yeah. I don't think we'll have that problem because we're going to use our own. We're going to do it ourselves. We're not restricted by any of that stuff. Our robotic part's going to be way more stable. I hope so. But I mean, we haven't really done detailed physics simulation yet. So that's kind of the next big thing we're going to start tackling. Is this an actual whiteboard? Yeah.
So the way is to sort of break the simulation into different layers. So at the moment we've done this Kepler simulation, which is the planet, the laws of Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Pretty straightforward and pretty simple. So if you imagine that as like a point in space, and we simulate all its orbital characteristics. So I should probably say like this is like the orbit. That black is going to be a lot easier to see. At the simple layer, think of this as like AA, BB, physics. So this is like physics when nobody. Oh wow, I can't write watching. Right? I mean, nobody can even read that. I can't even read that. Anyway, so that's what that simple physics is, and we'll write that ourselves. It's designed to be very heavily threaded and very lightweight. And then as we move down the simulation, here we'll get into what I call detail or detailed, and this will be Jolt. SDK is the current front runner, and you would have seen Brogan post about that. So what does that mean? If you imagine this here, let's do the sun, and you get to see some amazing artwork. This is the beautiful sun. He's very happy sun. And you have a point here. That is a point in our Kepler simulation here. That becomes like a physics scene in simple, which is a whole bunch of referential. If you imagine, I'm going to try and hopefully you can see, I'm going to draw like a command module and a service module. These are two two vessels, I suppose, to use KOS, terms. These are two vessels in the simulation that are referenced according to that reference point, and we can, in the simple layer, we can think of those. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think we can probably do that with bounding boxes. So if you imagine that we turn these into boxes, or some kind of simple colliders and rigid bodies under our own sort of, we can do our own vague stuff there. But then if you have a camera on it, that's probably when we want to use Jolt. Now, we might not even need to do this. Jolt might be performant enough that that we can do it. And the early indications are, I thought it was going to be a bit harder for us to multi-thread it, but the Brogan might be here. From Enterprise Team, he posted some images before. He may have posted them in dev updates, actually. But he's got that multi-threading already. So it might be that to keep the projects simple, we might be able to remove this entirely and just go to that. Now, we can actually go in the other direction, and we can actually, this is what I'm hoping on here, we layer on Interstellar. So I've been designing it in such a way that you can actually step up through the simulation. We don't have any, I'm pointing at the board like you can see what I'm doing, which you can't. And look, I want to stress this is still sort of a sketch, but this is what we're working towards. The idea is, the advantage of our approach with Brutal is that we don't have a game scene like you have in Unity or in Unreal. We have no context. It's like your traditional, app for doing anything. We have this simulation that we run ourselves in the background. You would have seen us change the sim speed, or we can just pass in a delta time and have 100,000 years pass if we want. And we get to abstract stuff out. And that's the idea of moving from, say, the Kepler through to the detailed. We can sort of abstract it out. Because if you think about it, if we have our command module here, and then we have something else like over here, this has some other, like a booster or something that's left over. These two things have no relationship to each other. So why, in a traditional game engine, why should they be running in the same physics scene? They should not. They're entirely different. There is no circumstance we know for absolute certainty that the distance between these two physics scenes are, there's no way that they could get together. Now you have octrees and stuff in physics, that normally hands with that stuff, but we don't. I don't know. We want to be able to multi-thread it, so we want to deal with those two things very separately.
Yeah, that's the key there. I'd like to just explain it a bit to others. Is like, that's the difference there, right there. So like in Unity and whatever, like they're all in the same physics. It's all being simulated at the same time, or generally on one thread. Whereas here we can have Jolt running separate scenes for objects that are on the other side of the planet, that you're not even looking at, running separately on a separate thread, completely separate.
Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. J-Rod, our IT director, is putting, do you think it's too powerful? You can look at it on this, J-Rod. A little bit, seems to have adapted. I think the AI is getting confused. It's partially probably because I have my office with the blinds down. Yeah, hopefully that just gave a bit of an outline. It's a very good question. It's one we've talked about a lot. Hopefully that gives people some confidence that we've got a reasonably good idea. But this is the kind of reason why it's really important for us to get early builds out to developers, sorry, modders and stuff, because yeah. Oh, can I click change windows here? Oh, I can. That's actually cool.
Yeah, so like, this is where we're learning from the mistakes of the past. So, we've got people in the team who've had to deal with these problems before. So making sure we're not making any of those mistakes. I think ultimately you're going to see a much better experience in this game. It's not
And
too
I
late to
need to make
rebrand.
this work.
Well, there is no brand yet, right? It's just called KSA for now. Like, who knows what it'll be when eventually it goes, release.
Yeah, I just didn't want. Again, I think it's about that pragmatism. You've got to strike a balance.
Yeah, look, I've worked in the big in the big studio as well, and like people get, you wouldn't believe how many meetings there are about, like what's it going to look like, and da da da, and they get hung up on it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it just cripples you, wastes a lot of time and resource. It's like, it's KSA for now. That's what it is. That could change.
Okay. This is this is some spicy work. Okay, so what do we reckon radius is? What is this? So this is the bad data. This is the bad, like, we were just hacking it together data. And this is how I need to get it working. I need
What's
to
the
integrate it
radius
in
of?
here. Well, we have this sort of arbitrary radius. I don't know what this arbitrary radius is.
I don't know. Does anyone from Enterprise tell us what the hell that is? I don't know.
I think we
Well,
were just fooling around. I think it was just nonsense values. But because it's a float, it will need to. It will need
double it.
to. Maybe if we assume it's in. So if I go mean radius, I think I can get the template. Can I get the template? I was sure there was a way to get a template off it, right? Because I can. Okay. No, if I do mean radius, what was mean radius? Yeah. See if I could do that.
Template.
I think by default this distance reference will give me it as AU.
It's stored in AU. Yeah, everything's
So
stored in AU.
if I times that by then constants, AU to meter, and then I divide that. That will, well, no, actually, let's do AU to kilometers. And then I can divide that by, I'm just doing this so that I know what I'm doing. I can read it later. I like where you're going, Copilot. Okay, so what I want to get is, if it was the moon and it was 1,000. I might do that for the moment. And do this. I just want to make it work for a start. That should get me approximately it. And then let's do. Did I not expose template? No, I think that was deliberate, right? Because I don't want people messing with template. To being like those structs that we made, so that you can't just
probably
accidentally
put the wrong measurement. Yeah, we could do that. I'll put it on my list.
I'm just gonna put this stuff in. I'm just gonna get it. like just mush it in. So this just shows how easy it is for us to chuck stuff in. We probably don't want that. We probably want a public double reference. Was new. Now element. Terrain scale. Whoops. So that gives us a terrain scale. What's wrong? Yeah. Let's just cast it. Because it's on a GPU, it has to use floats. If you do want to apply for a job, I think it.
Someone already linked it.
Oh, they already linked it. Okay, that's good.
And they linked it better than you.
Wow, savage. So if I do celestial. This is all. Yeah, this is a lot more. Oh, because I said to Chris, I was like, "Hey, I'll do all this. You don't need to go in and do it." I think I can just grab a lot of this stuff. Oh, this is harder than I thought.
Oh, you're exposing them to the fun of it, of being a programmer, Dean.
Yeah, this is a
People
lot
thought
harder
being
than I
a
thought.
game dev was so cool. Yeah. This is your whole life, just sitting in front of code.
I mean, I have the texture reference here. I don't know. I mean, that's grabbing the height map data. I should not have told Chris that I would just do all this myself, but I am the one who should do it because, okay, so let's go to the moon. So this is our diffuse texture, and we've got our height texture. You know, I could probably use this constructor anyway if I wanted to. This goes through and initializes all the planets. This grabs all the textures and then it goes through and actually creates a staging pool. But you don't need to do that. You can just do Um, I think I have to create all these on the Celestial. I think that's what I need to do. But I thought that we were doing that anyway. I guess we were never using it. Yeah, this is a file texture. This is really spicy. I am causing utter chaos in here. This is more for modders, I guess, and just people who are just interested in how we're trying to develop it under the hood. So when we do our data load, shit. Do we really need a renderer? What do we do with that renderer? Got it. No, we do need that. That will need to be contextual, so I can't do that in there.
Oh, someone's asking, it's like I'm at work pair programming. Well, this is what we do most of our day, right, team?
Exactly.
This is how we get stuff done.
I think I just need to reuse this.
We do have to remind Dean that he needs to eat occasionally, though. He tends to forget. Have you eaten yet, Dean?
No.
Get him some sugar and just see where this wild ride takes us.
Dylan knows what I'm talking about.
I really didn't want to do this. I really didn't want to give access to the template in the Celestial
the template
class.
should just be pure template of the Celestial data. Are you just suggesting you got to put the texture data into the template?
Yeah.
You could. I mean, you could.
I'm just going to do this for now, and we can tidy it up later. It's not even the body. Oh, hold on. This is a problem simply because I'm an idiot. That's why. I very stupidly did this. All I need to do is copy some of this stuff through here. And I'll start with the diffuse texture here. And we don't need the XML ignore. So let's get rid of that. Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's a good idea for us to get into the hang of streaming what we're doing. You can always stream what you're doing if you want, Jamie, because mine might be a little boring at the moment.
I just created some primitive debug info so I can sort these maneuvers out, which is it's now rendering the sphere of influence for the celestial bodies. So I can see where one body ends and the other starts, because yes, it's a Kepler simulation. Someone asked about n-body earlier, actually. I don't know if they ever got an answer, like what's n-body. So n-body's like n-body physics. So that's like all of the gravity for all of the planets all interacts with everything. What we've got here is a Kepler simulation where there's just the gravity of the main body. And then when you pass over the boundary where the gravity of one planet overcomes the gravity, well, it doesn't overcome it, but is a certain amount greater, I suppose, that gravity takes over. So there's only really one gravity at a time. Will there be planetary collisions? Well, sure, if you want them to.
I think we
I haven't
cache a
really
lot
done
of
that
stuff
before,
with
isn't
that
it?
stuff, so.
Isn't it called Universe Sim or something like that? I've got that. I mean,
Yeah, I think we're
I've
trying
done
to be
that before.
relatively focused with
Yeah.
how we approach stuff.
I think that, yeah, here's where you go down the rabbit hole is like everyone tries to wants the game to do everything for everyone wants everything in it, but yeah, you got to focus on certain things and other things. Modders can do whatever they want. Yes, I am planning on getting that primitive physics happening, and because one of the first things I do want to do is slam a comet into a planet because I think it would be fun. But yeah, only because I want to check physics works.
I am out of control, Jamie. Just FYI.
Oh, good.
It's just we need to get this. This is an example of the stuff that we need to get right. I'm just going to make a new struct. Fact, Dean, stop being an idiot. Damn. It's better. I'll clean up all these names later. Ever since we started integrating this stuff, I wanted to make sure that this was. Wait, what is wrong here? Who do you think renderer is? What are you even like? You are most confused. What? Nobody judge me. Okay, I need to do that thing, but I'm just going to clean it up later on. I thought so. Oh wait, no. If I do this. Nobody's judging me in comments, are they?
Not sure. Only slightly. Okay, cool. Oh, silently judging you. Cool.
How do I do the... can anyone remember what the keyboard shortcut is to do the thing where I paste in the same line? Can anyone remember? I always forget what it is. Like if I want to... Someone will tell me. Control D? No. I want to like... in the same line down here. I've forgotten how to do it. So like... Very funny. Very funny. Well, because I can't remember how to do it.
Rider, JetBrains, Rider.
What's that, sorry?
Someone asked what IDE
Oh,
are
what
you
IDE?
using?
Yeah.
I said, it's JetBrains Rider.
These are all named nastily, but I will, this is really, we probably want to call this a PBR, like, because that's the thing, we don't have materials, so we have to do all this stuff ourselves.
Yep. Materials don't exist. It's a fabric
They're
of
not real. They can't hurt you.
Fabric of a game engine. Materials. So because we're talking to Vulkan directly through its API, it doesn't know what a material is. We won't add materials. We don't need materials.
Okay. I thought I literally just added that. Oh, I made it private. Actually.
So like if you think about it, a material just, you know, if you're using Unity or Unreal, it's just how it just defines characteristics of how light works. And really, because we're not using, we just program that straight to the GPU. Don't know about you, Dean. I have to go eat. I do.
Hold
My
left,
body is telling me.
Alt, and drag. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I forgot what that was. Hopefully I remember this time. Yeah, so this is just a good example of, as we do these sort of previses, I have to clean this stuff up. Whoops. But yeah, it's very important we get this sorted before we give people access to it. One thing that's cool that you'll see shortly is how basically for modders, XML, the way we've formatted it, you can cross-reference stuff. So you can reference something in one here. You can define it in line if you want. You kind of get options. Options are good. Actually, yeah, I'll change those. In fact, maybe I should be clever here and yeah. This is where I want to make lives for modders a little easier. So we're going to make a new XML class. Roughness. I remember why I didn't do this. This could be a little bit messy to do. That's what I mean. Like I'm having to unpack a billion different things here. Ideally, I'd like to group these together in a common structure, but I don't really have a nice way to do that. But maybe if I do this. Maybe if I do this, it will work. I just really want to make our data structure as easy to use as possible. What did we have? Detail, normal, and roughness. So, I don't even know whether we're using populate. I don't think we were. And that will just make our lives a bit easier. So now I can grab this and plop it in. And this is where I have to go through and I have to just do a little bit of stuff, unfortunately. So it starts to get a little complicated. This is to make the parallelization work, but it's actually not working that well. Sometimes it causes an issue. Ah, this is gonna make my life so much easier. I should be checking chat. Yeah, I know you want to see the solar system, but I kind of broke everything when I did this. And the longer I leave integrating the old system and the new system, the less likely it is to all work. I mean, I don't want these to be nullable. I think I can probably do some check here if, sure, if, or, I just don't like, I actually, some people really don't like the, I'll clean that up later. Don't judge me. As quickly as possible, I want to get this into a stage when I can commit it so that everybody else can carry on with their lives and the projects. Oh, I was like, oh, no one had said anything. And then I realized I hadn't scrolled down. Okay, so now I want to create. This is what I mean. So the Brutal has no concept of a material. You literally make it. And I can make it fit exactly and only what we need. How we draw a celestial object like a planet might be entirely different from the material requirements for anything else. And I have to know explicitly what I want to do. Which I like that personally. But all of this little work that I'm doing in here is to support modders. Super important. Super important. So the way we load data is exactly the same way as a modder will use this. But the idea is we try and do the heavy lifting. That's the theory. And this is just messy, but in fact, See if again, I'll genericize this later. I just want to get into a position where we're actually using this struct. A lot of people on the project, or some people, don't like the nullables, but actually I do, because you know, it just gives you a sign how something's supposed to be used. So if this stuff is not correct, then we should see a whole bunch of exceptions. Okie dokie. I'm glad that Dylan's in there answering questions as well, while I'm just battling away with this. Okay, so we've made our struct. Now I need to find out where we're doing this. So we generate all the planet renderers. I can't remember what I need to do. I need to make a this, and then I need to assign it to the celestial. Dot set pb material. In fact, I could do a static. Oh, that's so messy. We can get rid of all this though. We can clean all this stuff up. So let's get rid of this. So when are we loading this? Where are you set up, sir? Okay. I think I can be smart here. And no, I can't, because I need to pass in the renderer. I want it to be smart. It was a good call, Dean, but they're not going to work. Don't know why I don't like this initial as true, but I'll deal to that later. So that should get all of this into circulation. And sorry, I should be keeping an eye on chat. Oh my god. Okay, so we've initialized the planets here. And then we're getting all of the planets here. And we have a celestial. So we should be able to do PBR render data. Wait, what? Render data. Got it. I don't know whether I really like render data, but let's just grab it. We're close. We are close. I can feel it. Once we've got rid of all those little reds. I can't remember if we have any other red. Let's push a button and see what happens. There'll probably be a lot of nulls. Yep, didn't like that. But now we need to go through and transpose this stuff into this stuff. Let's go to line 49 in that. I really only want to create this if maybe I could just make the texture null. Try that. Uh-oh. So probably what I want to do is Let's just try do nothing. Okay, that's progress. This is the issue. We shouldn't need that anymore. That's a problem. Let's do this. Is there a find? Maybe it's find I want.
I'm back. Did everyone miss me?
Yes.
I'm suitably refreshed. Dean has not eaten. Someone get him.
Oh, I've got to
water.
get this done. This is going to be messy otherwise. But I'm close. I'm just going to get it. Just going to get it working, and then it. What did get LOD level do? Okay, I need that. I'm an idiot. I think I needed that, but I do. I'm going to change that away from planet. Actually, why don't I call this bestial render data?
Dane doesn't have donuts. We try to limit his sugar intake. For those
Yeah,
that are
I had
asking.
sugar yesterday and you saw what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe if this planet mesh collection is null, that's when and that's gonna help me a great deal. So that's gonna help. That's what I need to do. Perfect. Which means that I can not make that nullable, but maybe I can leave it as nullable. I hope we generate those meshes before we load the system templates, but I'm pretty sure we do. See how confident I am at that? Okay, I think I just don't understand what I'm doing with this. Yeah, we didn't even use that one. What? Oh, goodness. A single branch? Someone asked if we're working on a single branch or do you have feature branches? We generally try and work together to keep it like a, this is probably going to be a very spicy opinion, but we generally like to work in the same environment, I guess you could say. Man, this is going to be nasty. Render data dot value dot distance. Must remain. I can't even remember, honestly. I just think if people are, definitely, if there's a reason, so it's steering group, we can agree to a branch, but we sort of have to do it for a reason. This is crazy. We made something in here.
It's called main, the branch. But yeah.
I was sure I made a new radius value. We have main radius. Oh, maybe it was on Celestial actually. Now I think about it. I remember I did 0.33. Well, I thought I did. Did I delete that? No, here we go. Haha. Not using it. This is bad because this is done each time we do that. I feel like we're just making this struct. I'm guessing that struct is used somewhere.
Well, the really cool thing is that all this stuff, which was prototype for the rendering, has been plugged in, and there's not really been a performance pass yet. But still, it's very performant, even before even doing that.
Exactly. I'm just trying to make it all play nice with our systems.
Those that are still going on about branches, I mean, when we need to do branches, we will. But like at the moment, the team's very small and we're working on different parts of the code base, so there's no need to have branches. It's just additional overhead. And right now, where the project's at, we don't need it.
This is going to be better. This is way more complicated. I thought I'd pick something real chill to do, and I love doing data stuff, so I thought, oh, I'll do that. Oh, the absolute. What the nonsense is this? Your bias list. What the actual? Holy cow. Let's try that. Screw it. It'll probably work. Wait, what? If we're just using main radius there, can't I just... We scale it anyway. Oh my god. I should not have just hand waved away how complicated this was going to be. People in chat should just be laughing at me at this point. I really thought this was going to be pretty easy. I really don't want to mess with this too much because it will break all the billboarding. And I don't want to be faced with too many bugs at the same time. So I'm just going to replicate what it's doing. But really, that surface radius, if it's just a relative aspect of mean radius anyway, we should just be able to remove this idea of a surface radius. We're just like relatively scaling stuff, which I think is why that distance, I think that's actually wrong anyway. But we should just be able to completely remove that. In terms of the kittens or the astronauts or whatever, I mean, that's something that I'm really passionate about, that want to have good level up and investment into them and stuff like that. Six or five. Okay, so what will I call this? Setup renderer, I think. Right, that's just a bit cleaner. So I think here I want to say if okay, no errors, and we're just rendering with good old-fashioned spheres at the moment. Which is fine. If I do this, and I check in the data, what do we have? I think the lunar height is actually not very good. Oh no, it's all right. 4K. Damn you. Okay, so that should load that. And now I need to do our, I think we called it detail. Thanks for helping Copilot, but you're actually wrong. Okay, that's not too bad. So probably let's be specific. Just all sample testing stuff. What's wrong here? What is your problem? Right on. It's fine. Oh. Whoops. Are we just using the same texture? No, I'm looking at the same file because there's something wrong with me mentally. Okay, I don't think this is going to work, but let's just see what happens. Ooh, did not like that. What happened here? I think it's our parallel loading, which we disabled in. To get that path right. Dexterous planets. Okay, so I think this one should be fine. That's interesting. Why do you have a problem here? Because you can't find it. Core textures lunar normal. I think that is because of capitalization issues, maybe? Nope, because of an extra R in there. I should really be checking that the file exists. That would be a good way to go about it. Okay, so why are we not billboarding here? Did I turn something off? So this is all the stuff a modder will have to go through. So I can see that I've actually got the textures, like I can see them there. There's the lunar normal, there's the lunar height map. So the texture's there. Probably, I've probably stopped us from rendering something. I like this. See here, once we combine planet render data with simulation, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So it seems there's a lot of duplication in here. If the camera is near a celestial, we should record the distance. This is unnecessarily complex. And that's kind of weird there, but I'm just going to push play and just hope it all works. It did not work. I think because for some reason... This is pretty nasty. This is all really nasty. The integration is, yeah, a lot more complicated than I was expecting. Six, 3, 5. Well, render data can never be null, but I think we can probably do this. That shouldn't happen, but maybe that's the issue. Wow, this makes me feel better about my own code. That cuts deep. To be fair, I'm integrating some pretty messy stuff here. I need to debug this. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. There's nothing in it. I haven't populated this correctly. I bet you that doesn't get populated at the time I think it does. That's the issue. So when I did this population on this thing here, this is what I was worried about. So we like to be able to cross-reference stuff. This needs to be done at a later time. Just trying to get the sequencing right, so I need to be really careful. There's somewhere where we load that. What happens in here? I think it's called Celestial Library, maybe? No. That's what I wanted. Thank you, Copilot. How can I make this look a little better? Maybe like that. I think that will do what I want. Basically, I need to go through and populate the references. Well, we got something going on. But I can't tell what. Okay, so what happens is I think when we get close to Earth, it's going to go dark. No, it won't. But that's a good point. Where is the moon? Where are you, moon? We don't get to see you. Oh, there we go. At a certain point when I get close to the moon, I think it's going to go completely dark. Yeah, it is. What about if I turn on wireframe? And turn off billboarding. I kind of wish wireframe, we were correctly doing that, but I wonder whether there's an issue in there somewhere. I mean, I like doing this, so it's the funnest part. I've just shut my door and no one will bother me because the door's shut and I'm doing this. So no one can come in and say, hey, you need to do this thing. Okay. But this is kind of nasty because we've touched a lot of stuff in here. Man, you scared the crap out of me. Dylan just opened the door. I'm
your theory.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty suspicious that I mean I'm correctly now getting the right celestial. Maybe you know what? It could be that I've set the radius crazy small. Just gonna hard code this thing. I've got too much stuff open. Okay, so it is possible it could be really big, or it's really small, or it's not being drawn at all. These are all possibilities. So why don't I just try doing that? Because I think it's drawing something. This whole surface radius thing, I just didn't like anyway. And I think that's the source of our issue. Unless it's something else I've commented out. So I'm just going to step through the orders of magnitude to see if I can find something that at least gives us something. This won't help if it's ridiculously big. I'm sure I tried this. Might need to get help of an adult soon.
Hey, what's happening?
Uh,
Debugging of stuff.
Just because I've had to integrate so much stuff with this, now I'm trying to see if there's I'm literally doing space stuff here where I'm trying to see if there's a tiny mesh somewhere. Maybe I am just not getting the mesh.
Might need to grab Chris.
Yeah, but Chris will be so polite. He'll be like, "Oh, Dean, you appear to have done something really stupid," but in a much nicer way. Ah, damn it. It's just, there's just so much I have to pull across with it that I have to pull it across all in one go. And I don't want to have to revert.
I'm busy trying to get multiple maneuvers working so that you can have more than one maneuver.
Well, do you want to do this? And I'll do that. Okay, so this is going to set what is the celestial? This celestial is the moon. And it's setting that to 5,000, which is roughly in terms of what we want. This texture is correct. So we're obviously loading all of this stuff. Maybe, what if I go into this? Sorry, if I'm annoying, you can just mute me, Jamie.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just on my own little world, listening away. Someone wants to know where the Kickstarter is that they can donate to.
There is no Kickstarter. We'll deal with the money another day. What the heck have I done?
What they can.
Oh, okay. There's just something wrong with. Wait, no, that's in the different one.
No, Dean didn't break it. Copilot did. I blame Copilot for all of my bugs now. It's a lot easier than having to deal with it yourself.
So what the heck am I doing? Maybe have I not loaded it at the right time? Are the textures blank when I'm using them? Possibly. It could be that whole parallel loading thing. That parallel loading thing, I swear, just creates such an issue. And out of the rail, we turned it off. Like it's possible that this texture is not loaded by the time I'm doing this. Yeah, that's very possible because remember we sometimes don't have the sphere loaded in time and the quad and stuff. So maybe if I put this in later, just temporarily. Actually, someone else suggested something which was good. Why don't I just make I'll just load in textures on top of it. I don't want to have to go backwards. It's a texture I know I have. Actually, I might just do this. I could always do the do load. Why don't I? I'll just grab a default texture. What's this? Oh no, we don't want to do that. That's going to cause us a total mess. Let's do that thing there that it does Photoshop. Thank you. No. KSA content texture. Probably going to look a bit funky. It's not that. But I might be able to fool around with. I might have to go get Chris. Go get an adult. I can't remember where the shaders were. Here we go. Oh, I know. What about if I turn on collision again? And be the transform issue. I think it could be this, where I did that stuff. Because the camera world position is always 0. Wait, where the heck was I here? I think that's always 0, so we can just do that. I think it could have been because it was being rendered at basically at the sun. Okay, well, I was wrong. Now we can't see it. Where are you, Luna? Maybe actually what I want is that. I think I am going to need to debug this quite a bit. But what I might do is I might not make you all suffer through this. But it's been a good stream. I quite like this thing here. You're welcome to stream if you want, Jamie.
Wow, all good. I think J-Rod was going to start streaming Factorio.
Oh, nice.
If
Probably
you're
not
still
appropriate
around.
for the KSA one, but yeah, I need to go walk over to Chris's desk. But you guys are welcome to keep talking. So I'm so close. I'm so frustratingly close. But I can't just. This is, I suppose you have the scene and stuff like that. I need to. I might just quickly step through here and just have a look at some of this data because I was grabbing the right LOD mesh. I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to debug this maneuver thing, so I need to do that offline.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, I mean, that's crazy for a start, what I did there. Once this is done, we'll be able to build on it well, but we've got two different data structures, so it's just nasty. I don't know why it's not letting me debug relative scale. Like this. Like this at all. Possible I've created a very large mesh. Pretty small number. Wait, did I even add that value in? Yeah, no, I did. I did add that value in. Yeah, I'll go get Chris just in case he's heading home. But thank you for the stream. I'll let everybody know how I get on.
Thanks, Dean. I think I'm going to try and find the EJ VOD from his stream earlier because he was watching this, and I think that means we'll at least have a saved out copy of it. So if anyone missed the start of it, I will probably post it in one of the channels, maybe Dev Updates.
When we were talking about stuff, lots of stuff. Yeah. Cool. Yep, I'm going to head off.
Yeah, I just think there was a lot of really good
this.
demos, and you know, people will just have to put up with listening to the robot voice and the mic echo from the whiteboard and all the other, you know, all the good times.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna write up that stuff about the space physics simulation actually, because yeah, and post that as well so people can refer to that as well in case they missed it later on.